we're tracking here on India Today, and that's a setback for India in the Italian Marines case. A tribunal, an international tribunal, has asked both India and Italy to stop all court proceedings in the Italian Marines case. That these two Italian Marines are accused of killing two Indian fishermen in 2012. The International Tribunal on Laws of the Sea has now sent this case for international tribunal. Italy had appealed to the tribunal to stop India from taking legal action against its marines based on the UN laws of the seas. They said the UN law grants jurisdiction to the country that owns the ship if it's involved in any incident at sea to try its marines. The two Italian marines, Sergeant Lettore and Sergeant Gironi, were on board an oil tanker, Enrica Lexi. They're accused of killing two unarmed Indian fishermen off the Kerala coast on the 15th of February in 2012. Now, India Today's Deputy Editor Atir Khan now joins me with the latest. Atir, you've been tracking this story very closely since 2012, while India insisted that this was a case which was entirely in Indian jurisdiction and to be tried in India. The International Court feels otherwise.
Well, you see, it's a mixed bag ruling because, Gaurav, it's not as much a setback for India as it is for Italy. The reason being that the Indian courts, the apex court, had already stayed the proceedings against the Marines. So it is Italy is more on the losing side as far as all the court proceedings, both in Italy and India, had been stayed. But as far as the return of the Marine Girone was concerned, here the Indian authorities have scored scored very well. The reason being they prevailed and they managed to convince ITLOS that it's a matter of human rights, and there are two fishermen, Indian fishermen, who had been killed on the Indian boat. So the India should continue with the proceedings, and it's India's jurisdiction. But the Italy, as you know, had been trying to divert the attention and saying that it had already initiated court proceedings at Italy when this incident happened. But then the court wasn't really convinced with their with this argument, and the ITLOS has decided to form another sort of tribunal which is going to look into the jurisdiction issue. But as far as the return of Marine is concerned, the ITLOS has not said anything on that. That means Sergeant Girone will continue to stay here, and if need be, Sergeant Lettore would also be called back to India.
Okay, stay with me for a moment, Atir. Let's listen in to the verdict as it was pronounced in the court in Hamburg.
India's own Supreme Court accurately characterizes as concerning the interpretation of UNCLOS provisions. Considering that India argues that since two of its unarmed fishermen were killed, the right to inquire, investigate, and to try the accused is a fundamental right of India. Considering that India maintains that under the Convention, immunity from the jurisdiction of any state other than the flag state is available only to warships and government ships operated for non-commercial purposes, and notes that no bilateral agreement exists between India and Italy for granting such immunity to armed forces personnel of Italy.